Hey there, Grumpy Old Fart here. I'm doing a Recon the Role-Playing Game story. I'm titling this one Election Security. Before I get into this, though, if you enjoy my content, it would really help me out if you would hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, share my content on social media, and post a comment or two. Remember, I welcome your comments, even if you disagree with me. If you enjoy a good book, check out my author page on Amazon. My pen name is H.L. Anderson. You can find the link to the site in the description of this video. You can find all of my books there. I like to think I write good stories that make you think. I wrote a 3-book science fiction Western series called Drifters. I wrote a fun story about a house in New Orleans where the monsters all hang out. It's called The House Off Farrago Road. I wrote a political fantasy called The Righteous President. And I've got 2 so far. I'm working on the 3rd. Science fiction, futuristic space warfare kind of thing. The first one is Vanguard 1. The second one is Task Force Terminus. They're a study of humanity from an alien perspective. I hope you get them. I hope you enjoy them. Okay, on with this Recon story, Election Security. My friend Charles was running a Recon game back in the day. Charles ran an excellent game and always kept us thinking. His games were very, very fun. There were 5 of us playing. It was myself, Ray, Bobby, Angelo, and Kevin. There was the mission was that there was a South American country who was getting ready to have an election. The government didn't trust anyone to guard the ballot boxes because everyone in the police, civil guard, military, etc., they were all on one side or the other. Corruption was rampant. And they needed somebody that not affiliated to guard the ballot boxes. So both candidates agreed to hire outside mercenaries to guard the ballots. They hired an outside guy to run the election. This guy didn't have any dogs in the fight, as it were, and his job was simply to count the ballots. And we were to ensure that one person, one vote, that's it. The government would run the elections with representatives overseeing everything, but they needed to make sure no shenanigans were tried with the ballot boxes. It was a small country, so there was only one voting place. The turnout was about 8% because nobody could really get there to vote, but, it was as free and fair an election as as they could make it. There were 2 ballot boxes. They were heavy steel boxes with padlocks. The election supervisor had the only key, and this guy was the guy that they hired from outside who had no dog in the fight, as it were. We were hired as security to make sure each person had one ballot and that ballot was put into the boxes. After it was filled out, they filled it out, they put it in. We had full authority to shoot anyone who tried any kind of election tricks. We got all set up. Election day came and we were on the ball. Ray and Bobby stayed by the boxes. Kevin was a sniper. He took up a position on the bell tower over the square. Angelo and I walked around through the area, observing to make sure everything was right. 3 separate incidents and 14 dead people later, we were convinced that both sides were trying to cheat. As soon as the polls closed, we rushed the boxes to the Capitol building to let the election people count the votes, to let that guy count the votes. The military moved in with 3 armored personnel carriers and about 500 men to, quote, secure the building. Turns out the head of the army, a general, wanted one of the candidates to win because he controlled that candidate. Those APCs turned their guns on the building and started turning it into rubble. Kevin had 3 law rockets. He took out 2 of them before small arms fire forced him to retreat from the tower. Angelo used Kevin's distraction to move through the basement to an outside door. He made his way to the 3rd armored personnel carrier and he took it out with a hand grenade. He then disappeared into the city. The rest of us fired on the infantry and were doing well. We were keeping them out of the building. We were doing well while this guy counted votes. We were doing well until we ran low on ammo. Well, the guy who was counting the votes, he was counting them as fast as he could, but he'd only finished 1 box by that point. We secured all of the ballots and we took him out the back with us carrying the boxes. Kevin and Angelo arrived with a Jeep. We headed out. We ditched the Jeep down the road and we hid out while he finished the count. We were hiding in the jungle while he counted the votes. When he was done, we went to the local radio station and took it over to let him announce the results. We held everybody at gunpoint, made sure all the stuff was going on. Ray was a radio specialist, so he knew he knew what to look for to make sure they were doing everything correctly. This guy announced the results over the radio. Once we got that done and he'd announced the results, we went back to the Capitol and we got paid. They didn't want to pay us. Yeah, apparently the guy running the thing didn't have any qualms about it. He didn't like the outcome. We'll put it that way. So yeah, we had to force him to give us our money. But we did. We got paid. As we boarded our flight to leave, we heard over the radio that rebels had attacked the Capitol and a civil war had started. We said, fuck it. We got on the airplane and left. Wasn't our circus, wasn't our clowns. We got on the plane and flew on out. We were done. We did what we were supposed to do. That election was as free and fair as we could make it. That's all we could do. Anyway, I hope this finds everybody well. Hope you enjoyed that story. Hope this finds everybody well. You folks have a good one. God bless one and all. Vanguard 1, Devo Polan, a scientific representative from a pacifist race called the Gandhiri, has come to Earth to learn the one thing that humans do better than anyone else in the galaxy: to fight. In the sequel, Task Force Terminus, Earth is at war with an alien race called the Amdola. Devo Polan's new commission in the Terran fleet exposes him to bigotry and treachery, and he comes to realize that sometimes political and military maneuvering are one and the same.